Hi, everybody. Welcome to Colorbar. Betsy Davis, Chief Marketing Officer, Sandy Alexander. Joined by, of course, Kim Updike, one of my favorite people on the planet.
Hi, Betsy. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
So I understand that this is our 20th episode.
It is our 20th episode.
Can you believe that?
From April Fool's Day, where we were like, this may not ever continue again, to today. And I'm pretty excited about who we're capping off number 20 with.
I'm super excited. Love talking retail. Love talking tech, new things, retail, and that whole immersive experience that we've been talking about on Colorbar. Excited that we have Carolyn Walker with us.
Again.
Carolyn's
just going to be a repeat offender.
She is.
I'm here for it.
I feel repeat offender in her. I feel
I'm
that.
I'm here for it, for sure. And now, and she's introducing us to what, before we even came on live, like the energy and the chatter that we just were having, I'm hoping it just keeps going. But Irma Sandoval from Logitech, head of channel marketing, is joining us to talk all things marketing and retail, and I don't even know where this little journey is going to take us for the next 30 minutes or so, but I'm here for it. So ladies, welcome. Carolyn, Irma, thank you for being here with us.
Yes, it's great to see you and talk to you.
Thanks for having us. Really excited to be talking with you again, and I will never say no, so keep inviting.
Okay, perfect.
Well, so thank you for the first invite.
No, of course. And by the time this airs, we will have had our second Glimpse event. And we're sad that we couldn't have Irma be a part of the panel, because what we're going to be talking today is what we're talking a lot about at Glimpse, which is creating this new in-store moment for consumers that is more engaging and incorporating technology and kind of pushing the boundaries of what we're doing in store. And so I'm excited for this conversation, especially from the channel marketing perspective, which is a little different from a lot of the brands that we have talked to on Colorbar or that we talk to on a regular basis. So really excited to have this different perspective of retail and what that means for brands that are, trying to engage consumers in a different way.
Yes, no, love that. And I loved when we were talking earlier, the idea when they were kind of talking about going down memory lane. So we'll let them talk about the relationship, but the idea of always kind of having that vision and pushing the envelope, and how they're always trying to shape what that retail experience looks like and how different ways to engage with the customer. So really excited to have them talk about that, and love Irma and Carolyn's passion for retail. And I think I'm a dining geek, so I get the energy. So I'm there with them.
Well, let's kick it off then with you guys talking a little bit about your experience together, your backgrounds, and the Response Agency and Logitech relationship, and then we can dive in from there.
Sure. Irma, you want to start?
Sure. Oh, gosh, our relationship, let's start with the relationship between us, because I think that's what brought us here today for sure, right? It runs deep. I mean, Carolyn and I go back 20 plus years of working together at Logitech. And, I come from a place of brands that actually are very meaningful to me. I started at Levi's Strauss and fell in love and own, my best vintage pair of Levi's that I cannot part without. And then I went to PlayStation. And again, PlayStation is all over my house. Everyone plays with the PlayStation, and my kids can't part without that. And then I moved to Logitech, a brand that, is part of my everyday life. I touch that mouse every day. I pound on that keyboard more than anything. I get my aggressions out on it.
Love that.
These things, what I found, that common thread has been, from Levi's to PlayStation to Logitech, they are all such meaningful brands to me that they're part of my everyday life. I don't know how else to say that. And Carolyn came into my life at Logitech, and I've been at Logitech on and off for 25 years now. I boomeranged back. I went to PlayStation and then came back. And Carolyn and I have worked on probably thousands of campaigns together, of ideations, of breaking the mold, reinventing, transforming, trying different things at retail, sometimes failing, sometimes just knocking it out of the park. And we have had so much fun so much fun, and we've learned so much about the power and the value of retail that that excitement has just kept growing and growing, Carolyn. I don't, and I wouldn't like Carolyn gets retail as much as I do. And it has been a journey of just discovery and dreams. Don't you think? Like we've dreamed. I guess that's really the question. I'm not reading off any notes. I'm just going with like, honestly, like we have dreamed about what can retail really be. And we never stopped.
Okay, I have to interrupt you really
Yes.
quickly. Like literally my heart is pounding because you are so in love with this. It reminds me of the roller coaster thing that we have for Glimpse. And you were talking about these ups and downs and the twists and turns, but the exhilaration and the passion and the love for it. I was like, I feel like I'm on the roller coaster.
I'm with you. I'm on it with you.
So I just had to interrupt you and just tell you that literally you have my heart pounding just hearing your excitement for what you do. So thank you already. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my pleasure.
she's amazing, I have to say. And I think, I have never worked with a client that has as much passion for the work and in the environment as Irma does. And you can obviously you can hear it come through. And I think that's why you're getting the feeling that you have. And the two of us together I don't know if there's any more passion we could bring together to the projects that we work on. But it's a pretty incredible relationship. Like Irma said, it goes back 20 years, and we've done so many things together. It's just been phenomenal, and we've gotten to know each other really, really well. And I consider Irma not just a client, but a really good friend as well.
Yeah. Ditto. There are times I'm nauseous as hell on that damn roller coaster. It's not, I don't want to paint the picture that it's so fun and easy, but man, that roller coaster has me nauseous, and sometimes I just don't want to get on it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of the journey, right?
For sure. Scary sometimes. It is really scary.
yeah.
But the exhilaration outweighs the fear. I think.
Well, and I was thinking about this morning, I was telling Kim I was on a walk and I was prepping for my intro for tomorrow. And so people were probably like, why is this crazy woman walking around the lake talking about roller coasters every 5 minutes? But what I came to was, and I think this is why you love it so much, Irma, is when you do get off that ride, when you do launch that campaign, like you finish the roller coaster and you get off, and regardless of what it was, you're usually smiling. It was fun. There was all the
There's the
things,
rush.
and you get off and you go right back to the line to get back on it again.
What consumers want, and being able to develop products that we can create really fun stories around. So I think that's a big change. The other thing I would mention about kind of the challenge that we've had together is that, Logitech isn't going into their own stores. They're going into other stores, right? They're going into Best Buy and Staples and Costco and Walmart and Target and all of those places. And so it's an added challenge because you're trying to tell your story and get consumers to engage in your story in another retailer's environment, right? Or in a retail environment. And so, that's another just another challenge, because you've got to sell them as well, right? So you sell it internally, but you've got to sell it to the retailer as well and get them to agree. And I think Irma's done a really amazing job, not only pushing Logitech and getting Logitech to show up differently and in a way that's way more experiential than ever, but also convincing retailers that they've got to make their locations and their stores way more exciting than they had ever been before, because that's the difference of whether I'm going to get in my car and drive 5 miles to the Best Buy and go look at it and experience it versus just buy it on Amazon or bestbuy.com or somewhere else.
So what have you been doing differently? And the partnership thing came up with me this morning as I was prepping for this conversation. There's all the partners. You've talked about your marketing partners and product owners, and then there's your partnership with Response, and then there's the partnership with the brands. There's all these people that you're having to collaborate with and be successful together with. Talk about your relationship with the retailers and what that looks like as you are trying to push the boundaries, and what that relationship looks like.
It's a really great question, because what we're finding today is that consumer sentiment changes all the time, and where people shop changes all the time. Today people are shopping, given the, whether it's, given the climate, our economic climate today, what we're finding is people are shopping at Walmart. They're shop for convenience and price, the fact that you can get groceries to, hand lotion to your Pringles, you can get everything. It's super efficient. And 5,000 locations. There's nothing bigger than that. There's, I think someone told, there's a stat, and I hope I don't get this wrong, is like in every US household has a Walmart 10 miles from them. The footprint is massive. So a lot of people are shopping at Costco as well. So it's like mass and club in today's environment are just exploding. And so what's happening there changes from, our biggest CE player, which is Best Buy. There's nothing bigger than, it's our biggest account is Best Buy. And so, we talk about, how do we make sure we're showing up and appropriate and convincing Best Buy stakeholders that this is the right program, but then shifting for how we treat it at Walmart and shifting for how we show up at Target. It's this constant respect for their landscape. It's this constant understanding of who's shopping in that store. And then pairing that up with the right product assortment that speaks to their customer set. And that is really, gosh, that's hard to do. The assortment piece is really hard to do. To make sure that we're creating products for consumers, and then sort of making sure that, we're always creating products with, consumers in mind. What's going to make them faster or healthier or more stylish or more productive. But the truth of the matter is our accounts are actually, they have their own strategies that sometimes don't align, and our product assortment doesn't align with their price point. So there's so much in terms of how you're selling in your programs and your product design. And I think that's been a really big challenge. I think one of our biggest challenges today in retail is making sure that our assortment and our designs are speaking to their customers.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think what I think of is a recent, actually not really that recent, but we've been working for the last few years on category management for Logitech. So, how we show up in the entire, how do we show up and how do we manage the entire category of peripherals? And so we started working on this a few years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago now. And Best Buy was one of the first accounts we worked on together on category management. And we went, so I don't know how many people know this, but like it is a process. It is a long process. You start with like sketches and, thinking about the whole space and like, what could we do? And what's the amount of possibility, et cetera. And you sketch and then you render and then you re-render and you redo and you rethink copy and, like all this stuff. You're working with the global teams, right? Irma, we're working with a lot of global teams. We're working with the people who actually produce the displays, right? The industrial engineers, and like, how do they make the things fit together and how things are displayed and the shelving and all this kind of stuff. And we're working with product teams and marketing teams, and like the list goes on and on. Talk about collaboration, guys. Right. And it came to a culmination. Irma and I met in Minneapolis at Best Buy's headquarters, and they do a review of the display. And so we set the whole thing up in their merch lab. Remember, Irma?
Yeah.
So the whole thing up, and there's like, I don't even know how many people were there, Irma. I don't know, like 30 people.
Like the whole company came down to the basement. Like,
yes,
to the basement.
Yeah, show up. And we're like, my heart's racing. Damn, it was incredible, huh? And we present, right, Carolyn? We present this whole thing. Sorry.
This whole thing. And it's amazing. And if you guys, I can send you photos later of like what we actually developed. It's a pretty amazing display. And we went from in their stores, we went from lining everything up by like, here's all the mice, here's all the keyboards, here's all the webcams. And we also try and, get them to like trade up, right? So it's like the arrangement is very strategic. Well, that's how we were doing it. And it was like this purple display. Yeah, it
wasn't terrible. It was 1 decade old. The display had lived in the store for 10 years, and we lined up the mice and keyboards by good, better, best. Yeah. And that doesn't work anymore. Good, better, best doesn't tell you much. It doesn't connect with you. Again, sorry, Carolyn. And it was, it was, I have to tell you though, it was this moment. I have to say that it was this moment where, the whole Best Buy team came down, and as we started to present, Carolyn, do you remember? They started to clap.
Yes,
they started to applaud, and we were like, "What the hell's going on?" We didn't applaud because, honest to God, we were transforming or reinventing the way people shopped the mice and keyboard aisle.
Yep, 100%.
10 years of the making.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
And Irma's presenting it the way with the passion you're experiencing.
I'd be clapping too.
You can imagine, right? They're clapping.
So crazy.
And I'll never forget one of the gentlemen from Best Buy said at the end of the whole thing, he goes, "Thank you for this much needed glow up of the space." I will never forget that. Yeah. And it was just the most amazing reaction, I feel like. And that was the sell-in process, right? And from there, we launched into, okay, we're manufacturing these things. We're putting them in on, a test run of stores. And then the whole thing kind of went to not the whole chain, but a big part of the chain.
Yeah, half of the chain of Best Buy went. We started with 52, and then it rolled out to 500.
500.
And I think the system, it scales. It scales. And then Staples started to scale it. Micro Center started to scale it. So it's a proven, category management is a very much a proven system. And you'll get to see the results in your sales. And especially one of the things that we're seeing happening with category management, when we're now curating in these zones that really speak to a high performance or style, like or ergo or healthiness. What we're seeing is that higher ASPs. People are transacting on a higher ASP. So
yeah, absolutely. And the way we did it, you guys, is we went from just selling like all the mice together and all the keyboards together to what Irma's talking about is curating the products that go together in productivity section, in an ergo section. And so what happens is not only is ASP going up, but people are now being inspired by the setups and saying, I need more than the mouse. I need the mouse and the keyboard and the webcam or the headset, so they're the total price, the basket size is going up as well. And retailers love that.
Well, yeah. But I love that because it truly is like you're kind of creating a vision for them that's right there. So it's not just, I came in to get a mouse. It's like, I came in to get a mouse or whatnot, but, this is the wellness or the ergo setup, or this is, whatever you're looking for. And you're painting that vision and it's like, oh, well, I want to be in that space.
Right.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Like, we believe everyone deserves to love their workspace.
Oh yeah,
and
I
when
agree.
you add value to the consumer by putting it all together, imagine you're putting that outfit all together. So Betsy, the jeans, the shirt, the belt, the shoes, you put it all together and you see it like that. I want to buy 5 pieces now. I don't just want to buy one.
Right. You want the outfit.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that we've also been talking about this whole experiential, but in store. Like, just the interaction and engagement with the consumer and the ability to, I'm going to add a necklace or add accessories that go with my jeans and my shirt, or I have this vision now of what my office could look like. So I'm not just going to buy an item. I'm going to buy all the items because it's giving me this feeling and experience. And that happens in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot easier to do in person. For sure. It's the technology on the digital side has, come a long way as well. And as you can imagine, like Amazon is the king at this of like being able to have, their recommendation engine is second to none, right? So if you pick up this mouse, right, and you have it in your basket, they're going to recommend the right, keyboard to go with that.
That I get those all the time. It's like when you put something in your basket, it's like, we have a suggestion for you. Yeah.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think the difference is that when you're in person, right, and you're looking at it and you're so inspired, it's just a different feeling that you get. It's way more personal. It feels way more in tune to who I am as a shopper than
Yeah.
an online experience. So it's coming a long way, but it's definitely in store has an edge over online for sure.
Well, and we've also been talking about the phygital environment and combining the tech with still being in that physical world, or even just print within the shopping experience. And I'm wondering, coming from Logitech, do you feel a sense of responsibility to even level up what you're doing from a digital and incorporating tech into that shopping experience?
It's a big topic. It's a big must-win battle for sure. That omni experience of sort of just blending um, the digital and the physical as one. Consumers move beautifully throughout, those two worlds, right? So we've got to make sure that there's connective tissue always connective tissue there. And so, yeah, we feel a big responsibility to make sure that those things are connected. And in many times, we even start digital first mindset to really guide the full shopping journey. Sometimes we have now trained ourselves, which is kind of new, to be honest with you, to really think digital first, and then we back up into the journey, the other touch points. So yeah, but we, to be honest, we approach everything truly as an omni-channel experience, and we pressure test that now. Yeah, we pressure test that we show up consistent. The consistency is there, that the fluidity is there, and yeah, it's a sort of a big topic in our environment to always make sure we are connected between in-store and online. And we do things like QR codes in store, and I have to say QR codes have, I think, I'm not sure they've worked as well as we wanted to see a QR code work. And we get different stats. No, people are using them. No, they're not using them. So I think there's something beyond that QR code that we're not there. It's sometimes hard to bring the digital aspect in on the shelf. I'm not sure we've found the right sort of. Right now, QR code feels a little disruptive in the shopping journey, if I may say.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
you're right. I think you're right there, Irma. And I think two things about this. One is when you look at Logitech's displays across all the retailers, there are several that use digital in terms of like video, right? And interacting with video, or in the gaming space, especially, having demoable product where it's a driving wheel and you can interact with the game and you can feel the wheel move and shake, and like that, to me, you can't, like we were talking about this the other day, right?
Okay.
Irma, like people wait in line to get their hands on that driving wheel, and
Yeah.
experience it in the store. So I think there's that part of digital, right? Like digital included in the experience, like in the store. I think the other piece is like making sure that no matter where, like consumers, they don't think about it the way we do, right? Like here's my shopping journey, and they don't think about it that way. They just
No.
they just think about, okay, I'm interested in this product from Logitech. And so it's really important that we show up in the digital spaces and the physical spaces in a very consistent way, right?
Yeah.
Like that we're reflecting Logitech's values and the Logitech brand, and pushing the brand to be more and more iconic. And so I think that piece has been like a massive, massive push. And like, Irma's done, again, amazing job making sure like all the product pages on the digital side are by retailer, by the way, right? Like we're not dealing with one product page on the Logitech site.
Hundreds of product pages that need to tell that same story.
Exactly.
And I do think you hit on something really important, is video.
Yeah.
We have tons of research on the dwell time, the engagement time. Consumers like video, both in store and online. That has been a really sort of big focus of ours. But with video comes an added expense in store.
Yeah.
quite a bit. Quite a bit. It
Well, and
seems
also
so
in production,
insignificant
right?
in the store. Yeah, you need a computer, and then you need a screen, and then it breaks, and you need to make sure that you've got the field teams in there. Is the video playing? Is it it sounds so simple, and anytime you put more of bells and whistles in store, it comes with a responsibility to upkeep, to maintain.
Yeah, it comes with bells and whistles.
Yes, it does.
Yes, yes. But I have to come back to your comment about the QR code because it feels like there's this resurgence, but I love the fact that you're questioning it. Like this is what you guys were talking about
Yes.
pushing the boundaries and always looking forward. And so I can't wait to see where this takes us. Because I love, you don't hear people questioning it. And so I love that you just did.
I know. I can't believe I just did, and I almost felt bad saying it, but I've
No,
been.
you heard it first on Colorbar,
That's
people.
right.
We're questioning the QR code. Let's go, Irma. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I think I go back to, I think especially specifically about Logitech and the way people shop for Logitech. I do think that the code is questionable because they're so used to, like, if I'm in a Best Buy store, right, and I'm looking at a Logitech product and I'm interacting with a Logitech product, if I'm in the store, I'm not going to scan the QR code. I'm just going to bring up the Best Buy app or site and like look at it there, right? Or do a comparison thing. I'm not going to use. So I think that's why it might not be a universal thing. It might be more just the space that we're in and the environment that we're competing in more than anything. So I wouldn't say like hard no or hard pass on QR codes. I just think for Logitech, it's probably it is a little questionable.
Or maybe it is the fact that maybe it works at Best Buy, but a QR code at Walmart or Target, or again, you have to get to is that consumer, like for me, when I think about Target, I'm a mom, I've got my kids with me, I'm time starved. I don't got I'm actually dealing with more of an emotional impulsive buy, right? So I'm in there, I'm like, oh man, this thing's $15, I need it, let's go. I don't have time. I'm shopping for water and toilet paper. And I think we need to be very honest with ourselves as consumers. And I guess that's, where does it belong?
Yeah.
I think you're right, Irma. That's what I'm trying to say is like you have to think about the whole thing, the environment you're in, the thing you're trying to sell, all of it, and say, does this make sense or not? And not just be like, this is what we do because everyone else is doing it. That's not the right answer.
Indeed.
So you guys teased us a little because you sent us a couple of things to think about, and now I'm dying to know. So you brought up the Micro Center flagship store launch, and lines are out the door. So what in the hell happened here? Like you just kind of left it there for us, and now I have to ask the question and figure out what is going on.
Okay. Oh, this is so good. It's the most recent project.
Yes.
And
Tell us all about it.
Betsy and Kim. Okay, so Micro Center is, it's 29, soon 30 doors. 30 doors only. Yeah. But they're, one of the most profitable doors for us, footprints for us. And we really treat Micro Center now as sort of that boutique, exclusive, 30 doors only, the best of the best merchandising. And they've been opening all these doors and stores. And they just opened up their first store in the Silicon Valley, 20 minutes from our corporate office. That's the Silicon Valley, Facebook and, every tech giant is out there. And Micro Center opens up this thing. So we're like, oh my gosh, this is where all our execs are going to go to. They're going to, walk into this and see all the merchandising. So we brought it to the gaming, to how we merchandise gaming, to how we merchandise our personal workspace category. And we built and elevated our merchandising in a way that we haven't done anywhere else. And we talk about video and lights. And I think we had, when I think about it, there was these principles, if you will. There was like these 3 key principles, and I don't know if you agree with this, Carolyn, but it was like, how do we make sure that these structures really invite a consumer in? What does it have to invite someone in to come in, stop, play, pound on these things, spend some time? How do we, when they're there, we invite them in, and then how do we inspire these consumers? And how do we make what I would say tech irresistible?
Mhm.
Like those three eyes to me were like, invite them in, stop them, inspire them, and make it so irresistible that you can't leave the store without buying one of these products. And there was lines throughout the parking lot, wrapped around people in the middle of the week. And it was incredible. I mean, it wasn't just about Logitech. It was about the whole Micro Center experience. And it was something like, it was just a moment that, okay, we know we built, hands-on demos and videos, and our displays were buzzworthy. There's no question. They were buzzworthy. And ultimately it was, the people that are going into Micro Center, they're building their own PCs, they're techy, they're savvy. It was our fan base. Like our fan base was lining up to see this stuff in the Silicon Valley. Like it was our place. It was authentic. It was real. And we showed up in a way that was elevated and immersive, and all those eyes that I talk about. Iconic for sure. Iconic, hands down, the best. It was an incredible feeling. And I don't know, Carolyn, what was your thought?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you all the way around. I think, you know, the consumer of Micro Center is exactly how you described, and I think that they lined up because this is like it's a tech playground. It's a place to go in and be the most experiential thing you've probably ever experienced in your life. And I said this to Kim and Betsy a few days ago, maybe it was last week. I think, a lot of times we think about retail and maybe we think it's like, oh, it's just retail, it's just another store. Well, people don't, hate or dislike retail. They hate boring. And Micro Center's flagship store is not boring. It's like the farthest thing from boring. And that's what created all the appeal, right? And the lines were really literally wrapped around the buildings. I have pictures of that I can show you as well.
I was about to say, hopefully you guys can share and we can incorporate into the segment so everybody can see how exciting it was.
I love the three eyes.
Love the three eyes.
Love the three eyes. That's I love that. That's amazing.
And then you top it off with iconic. Give us four.
Four.
I mean,
I know, crazy. But you know what, Betsy and Kim, I think it later hit me again, these aha moments where you're like, retail is not dead. No way, far from that. It was incredible to, I know there's billions of users that come to Amazon, but man, it was almost that same sort of feeling of like, to see people lining up for retail was so nice. It was so like, I think people crave this stuff. I do. I think it was done right.
People are ready to be out in the wild again. We're ready to be out in the wild again.
Yes.
And like engage with each other and shop together and dine together and go, like the buzz is like the Micro Center is doing this. And they all were like, bro, let's get in the car and let's go all play today. Yeah.
100%.
It was those moments. We're all ready to be in the wild again.
Yes.
Well, before we wrap, any final thoughts for marketers that are out there that are just as passionate or that are ready for the next, what would be your little words of wisdom to wrap us up today?
Ooh, Carolyn.
I say stay curious, stay interested, stay, on top of what's happening. And, I think this idea of being more connected and getting your brand to show up in a way more personal way with your audience is massively important right now.
Yeah, dream. I think curiosity is really important. Dream, be creative, think outside of, challenge things, explore how do you, again, it's not that difficult to make sure that you're always centered around consumer needs, touching their lives, and starting with that nucleus of what's good for the consumer, how do I connect with them? To me, there's nothing better and more meaningful than um, than finding a way to make someone's life just a little bit easier, or smile, or happier, or whatever it might be. So for me, it's always about touching that consumer and connecting. So anyway,
Well, on that note, I'm just going to say thank you both
Yes.
very much. And I hope to see you both again very soon. Irma, hopefully, I don't know, one day we get an opportunity to meet in person, and I need some of the energy on me. I need some of this energy. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you both so much. Carolyn, we'll see you soon for sure. And
Yes.
and thank you both
Yes.
for joining. And everybody, I hope everybody watching today on Colorbar had just as much fun as we just did, and we will see you really soon. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.